All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Wednesday morning Inner Circle live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. I hope everybody's doing well today. So we're going to dive in, everybody. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage, as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted. You're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So we're going to hop in, take a look at some fundamentals. We have some things that just came out. I want to take a look at. And then we will take a look at how the market is initially responding to this news. And then second half of the session, we will take any pairs that you guys want me to take a look at. All right. So let's hop over to trading economics. And drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay and if you can see my screen. All right, beautiful, beautiful. So, look, this just came out 9 minutes ago. UK 10-year gilt yield eases on Bank of England announcement. The yield on the 10-year was basically their bond, right? The 10-year gilt eased below 4.4% after the Bank of England said it will carry out temporary purchases of long-dated UK government bonds from 28th of September in order to restore orderly market conditions, right? So just like the Bank of Japan intervened, the Bank of England is coming in to intervene. Also, central bank postponed the start of its gilt sale program due to begin next week because of market conditions. The 10-year note topped 4.5% for the first time since November 2008, as panic selling intensified after the government announced sweeping tax cuts last Friday. This week, Kwasi showed optimism in its economic strategy, saying he remains committed to bringing debt under control and reiterating that its $45 billion pounds in tax cuts would boost growth. Meanwhile, Bank of England Pill suggested the central bank may hike rates significantly at the next policy meeting in response to Finance Minister Kwasi's huge tax cuts. He added the central bank should wait until the scheduled November meeting to act in line with the Bank of England statement on Monday. All right. So this will be interesting to see how the New York session responds fully to this intervention. But that's what happened a short time ago. All right. And overall, that's kind of the biggest news for the morning. Okay. The other piece I want to take a look at is just overall morale around the world, right? German consumer morale hits fresh low. We come back here to just the news articles and we'll just scroll through, right? We have that. And then we have inflation. They change these around. Consumer confidence below expectations, right? We have multiple countries around the world, right? Business morale, 19-month low, right? So you have a lot of negative sentiment in the market, which causes concern around the world, right? So, so we got some interesting things happening this morning that we'll take a look at quickly, okay? But keep that sentiment piece in mind as we continue to move, right? That sentiment kind of drives the market. It's more of an emotional deal. But overall, folks are concerned about a global recession with the continued aggressive rate hikes from countries around the world, all right? So over to trading economics. We have President Lagarde spoke this morning, And it's not a ton happening today. Again, you got a lot of central bank speakers coming to the microphones, different interviews and meetings. And for the United States, pending home sales today, right? So overall, pretty light. Tomorrow, we got GDP for the Bank of Canada coming out at 8:30. All right. So overall, from a fundamental perspective, pretty light, but we do have random things popping up, like the pound, Bank of England statement. All right. So let's hop over real quick. We'll take a look at the dollar, and then we'll take a look at these pounds and how the dollar also responded to that news. Okay. So from a daily perspective, we're sitting at a 118, 127 zone on the DXY. Price just hovering sideways. Got a little bit of spike in the dollar when that news came out, but things kind of settled in, kind of back in its normal range. We drop here to the 4, right? You see we're getting a double top action here. Okay, so potentially preparing for this retracement, right? Price pushed up, nice little wick, and now we're coming back down to the downside after that announcement. All right, so that's the dollar. Real quick, any questions from a fundamental perspective? Nope. All right, give me 1 second. Let me get everybody access to their mic. Good morning, folks that just joined us. All right, cool deal. So let's take a look at these pounds real quick to see how what the initial reaction was to this statement. All right, so you got a question? Oh, all right. For the pound Aussie, right? You saw the spike to the upside. We got to that daily resistance level, and then we're pressing back down, right? So there was an initial reaction, an initial push, but prices coming back to the downside. Okay, so here on the daily time frame, Benny went through these last night, through these pound pairs, but we'll take a look at them real quick. New AB bound, well, we got a D extension hit on the daily time frame for this pound Aussie, right? If today closes above, which it likely could, right, we'll get a new AB boundary here, okay, which would look like this, okay. Got some indecision happening in the market right now, so we'll see how that plays out. But this spike came from that announcement of the intervention coming out of the Bank of England, okay. I'm not sure how much or how long that will be, but we'll continue to watch it. All right, so if we drop to the 4, this is back to that look on the 4. Okay, we got a new AB boundary here, and we're trying to make our way back to the upside. That spike still didn't get us at 382 on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so still have some potential movement to the upside. We may just get a retracement first, and then get another move to the upside to finish out these retracements back to these key levels that we broke through, key monthly levels. Okay, so that's where we are on the 4. Drop to the 1, and you see we broke through our cloud, and the spike down is retesting that cloud for us, right? So if we run our fib from the low, that push up came just shy of that 118 level. So looking for retracement there on this pound Aussie. Hold on 1 second. All right. So still looking for a retracement here on the pound Aussie, right? Still looking for a move back down to the downside, at least get us at 382, right? But we'd love for it to come back down to this 162 level at least, and give us a nice entry for the move back to the upside. Okay, so we'll continue watching that. If we break back below the cloud, right, we could then play a move back down to the support level. All right. So that's the pound Aussie. Any questions here? Nope. Okay. The other thing keep in mind is generally closing out the month. Okay, closing out the month, the general cycle, if you will, is you'll get a lot of consolidation. The last day of the month, sometimes you can get some a lot of profit taking that occurs. So you could see some moves really start to reverse and get retracements as profit taking occurs on different from different institutions. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You could see things start to slow down. The liquidity in the market kind of leave the last couple of days of the month, and then as investors are starting to prepare for the next cycle and the next month. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So we could see this range continue for the next couple of days. Okay, pound CAD. This is that initial reaction on the pound CAD, right? Wasn't able to close above this level, right? Strong spike, and we got some indecision. Okay, so on the open, right? Open of the New York session around 9 o'clock, we could start to see things start moving. Okay, so we'll see how investors are taking that news coming out of the Bank of England. To come back to the daily, right? New AB boundary, shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone. We got to the D extension here, so we're waiting on a new fib to form, right? This strong spike is going to give us a weird looking fib to kind of start things out. So just be prepared for that. And it may take a while for it to show up, just because of this long impulsive move, right? Sometimes it can throw the algorithm off a little bit. Okay, but at some once that candle closes, that would technically be our new AB boundary. Okay, as we go to the 4, give us a better look. Here's that new AB boundary there. Okay, we got a 50% push, kind of a double top ish scenario. We'll see on the open in the New York if we get a deeper retracement off of this. Okay, and a stronger push to the upside. If we close above this level, right, 148,332. Could see it carry at least to that 152 level. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on this one, is a close above that to give us a stronger, deeper retracement on this pound CAD, at least coming back to this previous consolidation and this key monthly level at 152,459. Okay, so as you drop to the 1, you see here we also were able to break above the cloud. Right, move sideways a little bit. The lagging span hasn't broken through price yet, but we're testing the cloud now. We got a bullish cloud ahead. Okay, we got our two-hit crossover here. So we want to see if we get some turnover and push back to the upside on this one. Okay, so watch this one closely on the open. This one we may not get as much of a retracement. We may just hover here and then look to see if we get a break and close above this 148,332 level. Okay. So keep your eyes on that. From a fib perspective, we zoom out. Right, from the fib perspective on the 1, this is what that looks like to the downside. Okay, sitting at a deep retracement, but my bias is bullish on this one. Right, so this is our fib to the upside here, sitting at a 236 retracement in line with that cloud. Okay, so if we do get this to turn over and push to the upside, we can see that move. Okay, any questions here on the pound CAD? No. All right, cool deal. Keep rocking. Pound dollar. Let's see what this reaction was here. Not much of a reaction on the pound dollar. A little bit of a spike. Excuse me, but looking for the new AB boundary here on the daily time frame as well. Okay, we got parity sitting down here, trying to inch our way down to that level. We'll see if we get there, be it before retracement or after. On the 4, similar look to the rest of the pounds, right? We got a 382 retracement, and now we're just kind of moving sideways, right? Not able to break below this 4-hour support here. That wick is your initial reaction. So we'll keep our eyes on this as well. Push, retracement. We'll see if we get another push to the upside to get us back to this 114 level, right? To retest that. Potentially just the 618 retracement. You got a previous support level here as well, okay? So ultimately looking for more retracements to occur here as the market opens and takes in this intervention news. Okay, so get to the 1. That's our fib to the downside, right? Looking for a break above the cloud, right? With all of our confirmations to the upside. Okay, I have trend lines running here as well. Not going to use those in this scenario. Okay, but looking for a break above the cloud and all the confirmation to give us insight on a deeper retracement here. Okay, so if you flip that fib with the bullish sentiment, right? This is where we sit. Came just shy of a 618 retracement here, right? So 50% retracement, and we're pushing sideways. Okay, so we want to see a breakout of that consolidation and that push to the upside. Okay. Questions here on the pound dollar. Got it. Okay. Pound yen, similar look, right? This is the 1-hour look. Got a 382 retracement off the 1, looking for potentially a deeper retracement to come. Okay. But just bouncing back and forth right now with indecision. Okay. Come back to the daily time frame. Looked at this one yesterday. We did break back below, right, this 155 level. Okay. So if we look back, this level held here. We had a decent reaction, right? Couldn't break below it. And then we got that pushback to the upside. So here, we closed convincingly below it, tried to break back above multiple times. We have not. So this is one that I'm watching closely to see if we're actually able to stay below this 155 level. Okay. If we stay below this 155 level, we could head back to the 150, 148 zones before we see another reaction. Okay. Yesterday, we're looking at potential for this to push back to the upside, right, to stay in this larger range, but we got that close back below. Okay. So this one from a daily perspective, I'm still relatively bearish on, even though we know the yen has not had any change in the monetary policy. And we could ultimately see at some point this turnover and push back to the upside. I think in the short term, we could see a little bit more movement back to the downside here. Okay. So we'll keep that in mind, and we'll watch it as it continues to move. We get here to the 4, right? And this is what we're looking at here, right? We had a shallow retracement, and then price just fell off completely. And now we're getting this retracement occurring here. Okay. But again, this is that look, not able to stay above this weekly level, right? Reaction there, push right back into your Kijinsen off your cloud. But we're pushing sideways nonetheless. So this level is going to be key for us to watch to see if we get this deeper move or not. Okay. New fib perspective, again, because that was so impulsive, right? The new fib is going to look like this. Okay. So here on the 4, you did get a 618 retracement. You could see it push deeper again if we break above that level. Okay. So we'll watch this closely to see. But my overall bias on this one, like I said, is still short. So we could see this potentially push a little bit higher, but I think this one will come back down to these lower levels to retest these levels and potentially give us another reaction back to the upside. So we'll see how that plays out over the long term. And drop down to the 1. Okay, we got a 382 retracement here. and now we're back to that level. Okay, so we'll see. We got potentially a Kumo twist happening here, right? Trying to push to the upside. We got our TK crossover, but price is in between the cloud and the low price. So we could see, again, another push to the downside here. Okay, so that's the pound yen. Questions on this one?
I thought it was going to keep going up, man. It's taking a long time.
Yeah, it's taking its time. It's taking its time. Like I said, this is going to be interesting, right? This intervention by the Bank of England could cause, right? Could be the catalyst for that to push to the upside. So we'll see. I still think there's some bullish sentiment left in the yen, though. So this level is going to be key for us. But it's definitely taking its time for sure. For sure. All right. And 1 second. Does a long wick at the top mean sellers are losing power? No, it just means that there's some indecision, right? With that, with the information coming out regarding the Bank of England's intervention starting today, that was your initial emotional reaction, right? We talk about all the time not trading the news because you get a lot of emotional reactions that occur. This is one of those emotional reactions, so we'll see if there's going to be follow through afterwards. So all that means is initially there was a spike to the upside and buyers trying to come into the market to buy that news. Because at the end of the day, it's intended, the intervention is intended to kind of help the pound, right? And give some, put some money and some positive sentiment back in the pound. So, so that the moves aren't as sharp or similar to the Japanese yen. So that was that initial move from an emotional perspective. So now we'll see if we get follow through from that. All right, Benny. Good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Glad to be here. Good morning, everybody.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I was telling the team, the Bank of England came out this morning, so that they're going to intervene in the short term. So we have some emotional reactions on these pound pairs. So we'll see if we get follow through on the pre on the opening in New York. But yeah, they got to buy.
They were talking about it. A lot of people were speculation that it was going to happen on Monday, but Governor Bailey was saying that they weren't. So I guess they're getting a lot of pressure.
Yeah, so they didn't do a rate hike, but they're buying aged bonds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, they're buying aged bonds from September. So long dated government bonds. So we'll see what the overall reaction is.
For sure.
But initially, it was pretty emotional, as expected.
Yeah.
We got on this pound yen, we had 100 and a 200 pip spike, but it came back down, and it's just indecision.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, I mean, I wanted to see them push a little higher anyway to potentially get short on a lot of them. So,
yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to, right? If we get another push to the upside on the New York, then we could get that high price to get back short. Cool deal, man. Appreciate you, man.
Indeed. Yep, no doubt.
All right, so let's look at this pound Swissy from a 1 hour perspective. I'll pull the cloud off. That didn't happen. All right, push below all of this. So this was that emotional reaction here. Now we're still getting another press back to the downside here. Okay, so we'll see again if this turns over and gets a push back to the upside. All right, let's pop back to the daily time frame, and this is what that looks like there. Okay, Hit that D extension, don't have a new swing low yet, but we're still pressing down. Still pressing down. Okay. We get to the 4. That's what that new AB boundary looks like. So this could just be, right, a retracement for that second push to the upside to get us back to this 111 zone potentially. Okay. So we'll wait to see if for this retracement to finish out. And then we'll look for buying opportunities on these pounds, right, to get us back to those high prices potentially. Okay, so that's the 4-hour look. Drop to the 1. And this is what that spike looks like on the 1. Okay, so if we run our fib to the upside here, that's what we're looking like. Sitting at a 382 retracement. We'd love to see this push a little bit deeper, then give us a higher price. Okay, but we're looking for these high prices to then get short on these pounds. Okay, questions on the pound Swiss? Good morning, Miss Kim. All right, no questions on the pound Swiss. The pound New Zealand, similar deal. This is a stronger pushback down. Okay, stronger pushback down on the 1. Go to the daily. This is what that looks like. Okay, so this one's definitely going to be an odd looking fib. Definitely going to be an odd looking fib once it pops in, but this is that reaction. So it's sitting in this range here, all right? Monthly support, daily resistance. So we'll wait to see how that flushes out. Back to the 4. All right, there's your fib on the 4. Strong retracement, strong deep retracement, 86 level, right? A 192. We worked at 86 retracement. Now we're pressing back down. So in this one, we could potentially already be starting to make that move back to the downside here. We'll see how the market responds at this 188 level, right? If we get another push to the upside, but we could be in for this one to already start making this move back to the downside. Okay. That's the 4-hour look there. Keep your eyes on that one for potential shorts. And then here on the 1, that's where we sit. Shallow retracement that pushed us into that 118 level. Okay. Now we're pressing back down. So if we break below this monthly level, we could be in for some lower highs and lower lows to continue on this pound New Zealand. Okay. Questions here. That was a beautiful 80-20 setup on the 1. Any questions on any of those pound pairs? No? All right, cool deal. Euro USD, yep, we'll take a look at it. So what we'll do is if you guys have any pairs you want me to take a look at, drop those into the chat for me. And I will take a look at those and see where they sit. All right. Take a look at the Euro USD while the rest of those come in. So bounce back to the daily here. Daily on the Euro USD. Got 382 retracement and we're pressing lower. Okay. The extension is here. Okay, we got this boxed out because come back to the weekly time frame. All right. We got a weekly D extension down here at 93,121. Okay. We got our daily D extension just above that at 93,434. So ultimately, this is headed to the downside. Will we get a retracement before that? Potentially. Okay. Could potentially get a retracement and then continuation lower. We'll see. We'll have to break back above this 96,062 level. All right. So that's a key level for us. Long time level. Right. Back in 2002. Almost to the day. Okay. So long-time level, right? You had support here and you had a resistance here. So it's going to be a difficult level for us to stay below. We'll see if that occurs, right? But if we do stay below that level, we'll look for this just to continue to head to the downside, getting to the daily and weekly de-extension level at 93. Okay, I do believe at some point we get there. It's just a matter of do we get a retracement first and then that continuation. Okay, so that's the daily look. Let's go to the 4. And here on the 4, right, we got a new AB boundary to form, shallow retracement, right? And we're starting to push back down. So what we could get on this is a classic 80-20 scenario that could put us into that daily and weekly support. I mean, a daily and weekly de-extension, okay? So don't be surprised if we get this push to the downside to get to these zones, and then we'll see if we get a retracement to come out of that, okay? We know the dollar is creating like a double top scenario, right? So we could be in for a retracement if the DXY does pull back, okay? The DXY does pull back. This could just give us a double bottom. We could see a retracement occur first, potentially get us back to this 382, right? So we could see something like this happen. And then we get short, right? I would love to see that happen, right? To give it that high price to get short and play that back to the downside and that 382 to the D extension. Oops. And that 382 to the D extension, you're looking at 140 pips. So I would love that push to the upside first. We'll see if we get it or not. Okay, let's see if we get it or not. I'm sorry, that was a 236. 382. There we go. 382 to the D extension. We're looking at 570, right? So that'd be a nice opportunity for us if we are able to get back to that high level. Okay. We shall see. We shall see. Okay, so that's the 4-hour look there. Drop to the 1. Drop to the 1. And this is where we're sitting on the 1. Okay. We push down, we hit that 1-hour D extension. Okay. Hit that 1-hour D extension with that push there. So we'll see once this new fib pops in. Once the new fib pops in, right, look something like this. Okay. So we could get a nice retracement here if we get back to that 618 level, right? And then that could give us that short opportunity as well. All right. So we'll watch this to see how this forms and if we get that break back to the upside, right? If the dollar gives us a nice retracement, we could see that. Could see that occur. Okay. Any questions here on the Euro USD? What I'll say is be patient on it and allow your confirmations to form first, right? We'll ensure that we're getting that retracement on the dollar, because we could just continue to push to the upside on the dollar because it's been so strong and the sentiment is so uncertain. So make sure your confirmations are met before you take a look, before you enter that trade. On the 15, this is what you're looking like. Right, getting close on the cloud, right? You got a 618 retracement matching the extension is here, right? So this level is gonna serve as a key level, right? At 96,062. We're able to break above that, that'll give us some confirmation of a decent move back to the upside, right? But if we continue to stay below, we could see this push even lower. Okay. Ms. Carolyn, what are you seeing on this pair? You looking for short opportunities? Okay. Cool deal. Any other questions on this euro dollar? No? You got any other pairs you guys taking a look at that you want me to pull up, take a look at? Benny, you got any pairs that you got your eyes on, bro? I know we're wrapping up the week. I'm wrapping up the month.
Can you take a look at that Aussie cap for me?
Aussie Canyon, yep. Trying to break lower. I'm getting a retracement on it right now. But here on the daily, right, we got some indecision. Weren't able to stay below that 88, 175 level. Starting to get some pullback and some indecision there. So drop to the 4. All right, came back to retest this 88, 429. So that level, I think, is going to be the key level for us to watch. It's 88, 429. If we break back above that, we could see it ride a little bit higher. Yeah, that was a nice bearish move when we retested the whole candle to the downside there. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can we take a quick look back at the Aussie dollar?
Okay. Yeah. Definitely will. Definitely will. We got that D extension on the 1, so we got a new swing low here on this Aussie CAD too. So a new fib would be like that. Yeah. New fib would be like that on the Aussie dollar. So that's a 236 retracement on the 1 hour. So we'll see if that turns over and presses down. 118, 127 is sitting at 87, 344, which is a weekly support. So we could see a potential 80-20 on this one too. So watch that one. See if we get that pushed down to that weekly support level. Aussie dollar. The extension achieved, pushed into this daily support at 63,782. Yep, so sitting there, starting to get a reaction to it now at that low. Go to the 4, just shy of the D extension here on the 4. Just barely missed it. Let's see. Low 63, 622. Yeah. So this one could push down and hit that D extension on the 4. That's what I'd like it to do anyway. Give us a new fib. But it's just stalling right here at the 63,782 support level. All right. So we'll look to see if we get one more push down to get to that D extension, and then see if we get a reaction to push back to the upside on the retracement, right? But that's going to be key that's going to be hinging on the dollar as well, right? If the dollar gives us that retracement, then we could see this gain a little momentum to the upside in a retracement form as well. So we'll have to wait and see there. Was a little spike earlier, and now we're just stalling. Drop to the 1. Okay, we got a new AB boundary on the 1. All right, we got a 38-2 retracement, retesting this bullish candle now, right? So we could see this start to push to the upside and give us that retracement. Okay, be a deep retracement, get back to that 65,043 level, right? 78686 zone. Okay, so we could be in for that in the coming hours or days. We'll watch to see. Yeah, so we could start to see some profit taking occur on some of these dollar pairs, and these retracements start to happen.
Yeah, I was looking at it on the 15. I was eyeing it up last night on the 15, but I see the initial move already happened. I was looking at it for a move. Oh, there it is. So there's the pullback on it on the 15. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get a reaction. I was looking at it last night, and it started to make this move already. Now it's pulling back on. You drop a fib on that on the from the low, off the low on that on the 15?
Off the low. Yeah. Come into 618. Yeah, it might give you opportunity there.
I was looking at that. So we'll see how it goes. Continue to be patient with it because I missed that initial move up. So
gotcha. Yeah, that definitely might get an opportunity. It might push a little bit lower, right? Coming down to this consolidation zone here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good opportunity to the upside. At least back to that 65 level.
Yeah. Let's see how deep it wants to go with the net AB boundary on the 15.
Yeah. Good look on that one, man.
Yeah.
121 to the upside. Keep your eyes on this, everybody. Right. Got a retracement happening on the 15. Right. If you get a little deeper push, right, good opportunity to ride that back to the upside in that retracement. Okay. Questions on this? Quiet group this morning. All right.
Ryan, Benny. I just
Good morning.
a question. Morning.
Yeah.
For I think October, some people were saying that there's a, you know how you do the all day. Benny would do the all day intro for new people.
Yeah, no, we don't have one of those scheduled for this October.
All right. Thank
No.
you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Take a look at the pound dollar real quick. We looked at it already, right? It's still pressing back to the downside here, right? So we could get a nice deep retracement here for a potential buying opportunity on that. So off that initial emotional reaction, we're still pressing to the downside. Okay. Still pressing to the downside. And get the euro yen. Still hovering in this zone, right? We looked at this yesterday. We're sitting at this daily support level. Excuse me. Haven't able to really close below this daily support, right? And on the 4, we had this spike here, but shallow retracement nonetheless, right? This push down got us to the D extension. So shallow retracement pushed into the 118 and 127 zone. And we're hovering right here at this daily level at 138, right? So this is a potential 80-20 scenario here for us to watch, right? We could get that push, what that looks like. Bunch of gibberish happening here. Take all that out. Okay. There we go. So this is the look on the 1 on this euro again. Okay, shallow retracement. This is that shallow retracement on the 4 and that push down, and then that push sideways. Okay, so if we get pushed to the upside of here, that'd be beautiful to come back to these higher levels. See if we're able to continue higher on this euro yen, right? Yeah, so watch this one closely for an opportunity, potential move to the upside, right? We also remember we could still get consolidation through the next couple of days as we wrap up the month, okay? So be aware of that, but also be aware of the potential profit taking that could also occur and get some of these, be the catalyst for some of these to start to move in the opposite direction that they have been, okay? So watch this one for an opportunity to take this to the upside. Okay. Now, if we break below this level, we continue lower, right? That just tells us, hey, we're going to continue to the downside here again. Okay. So keep that in mind. Also, downside potential, but move to the upside is also available as potential move if we get the confirmations to come into alignment. All right. Questions on the euro yen? No. Cool deal. Aussie yen. Aussie yen. So we'll come all the way back and we'll look at this, right? So Australian dollar, commodity currency, right? Yen, safe haven, tons of back and forth happening, but loose monetary policy, right? We pushed into this monthly level here. We were not able to close below and we got the strong reaction to it, which we've gotten in the past from a monthly perspective, right? So we're bearish now from a monthly perspective. Go to the weekly, and this is what that looks like. right? We haven't gotten to 382 on the weekly yet. We pushed up, not able to break above this weekly level at 98,292 to get us into that 118, 127 zone. So here, from a weekly perspective, if we close bearish, which it looks like we will, that'll give us a new swing high here on the weekly time frame. Okay, confirm that 98,292 zone. So we could be headed down to this 95.12. Okay, we'll see. Got tons of wicks, tons of support in this area that could cause us to stall out a little bit. All right, we come here to the daily, and we see that on this press to the downside, we also broke this daily support level. See if we close below it, right? See how the rest of the day happens. If this is a bearish close, right, a strong bearish close, then that could be that signal for us to be looking at this next level of 95.12. Okay, so we'll watch to see, starting to get a little bit of a pullback now, right? When we get to the lower time frames, we'll see what's occurring there. But again, if we get a bearish close below that 93.053, we could be headed down to that $90 level. Okay, drop to the 4. This is what we have. So shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. So we're still in this 80-20 scenario here, right? Still in the 80-20 scenario, but we had a strong bearish push on the 4 below this daily level. We came back and we retested. So we want to watch. If we close back above this daily level, that'll give us that indication that we're moving back to the upside for that retracement. Okay. So again, this daily level here is going to be key for us if we close above it. Now, if we stay below, look for it just to continue to fall. Okay. But 80-20 scenario nonetheless there. We get to the 1, bring this up a bit. This is your look from a cloud perspective, right? It's still a ways away. Okay. Still pretty bearish there. We bouncing back and forth in between that gap on the 10 continuing Keynesian. Right, and if you run your fib off the high here, you got another 80-20 scenario here on the 1. Okay, so we got some confluence on the 4-hour and the 1-hour, 80-20 potential. Okay, so if your confirmations are met, right, look for that play back to the upside. Right, I'm looking for a close back above this level. You see, right, the cloud is starting to press sideways here at this level. So kind of confirmation of some consolidation that may occur, right? And then if we get that break above, we look to play that back to the upside. Okay. But again, if it stays below, allow it to stay below. Okay. But wait for your confirmations to be met here. Okay. Questions on this Aussie yen. Looking for this to occur, right? Break, retest. Oops. Retest and continue. Okay. No questions? You're welcome, Ms. Kim. All right. Good deal. CAD yen, it's just pushing sideways. Okay, nothing doing on the CAD yen. Swiss yen, similar story, just pressing sideways. Right, I haven't gotten that retracement on the Swiss yen yet. Come back into the zone. We'll see if we get it at some point. All right. So that's the yen crosses. We got anything else? Any other pairs we're looking at? All right, before we wrap it up. Any questions? Yeah, Miss Carolyn, for sure. Definitely ensure that you're diving into the training, right? The training is imperative. Go through it, especially with you being new to Forex altogether. You want to ensure that you go through the training from the very beginning, right? And it's for everybody that's new. Go through it from the very beginning so that you understand each facet of the market, but also each facet of the methodology that we teach and why we teach it the way that we do. We welcome you to the family. We're glad to have you. And we want to make sure that you take the proper steps to set the foundation for your growth. And that foundation is going to start in that training in your back office. So definitely dive into that. And as you're going through it, do the homework and show up to the live sessions and ask the questions, right? It's going to be important for those last two steps. Watch the videos, but also do the homework and also ask the questions, okay? Don't compare your journey to anybody else's. Your experience is your experience. So you're not behind, you're not ahead of, right? You're right on time based on where you are in your life and your experience, right? And we'll take it one step at a time. So those questions, do not hesitate to ask them. Do not hesitate to ask them, okay? That's why we created the community the way that we did, so that we can give that real-time feedback and help you to, as Benny says, right, shorten the learning curve, right? Learn from the mistakes that we've made so that you don't have to go through them, but you do have your own experience. And there will be some exploration that you do have to do as you're putting in practice and the time and marking up the charts. All right. So, and that's for anybody, not just Carolyn, any other new folks that we have on the call, right? It's imperative that you go through the process, right? Follow the process, trust the process, and respect the process, right? And put in the time and the effort necessary to achieve the goals that you desire. All right. So welcome again, Ms. Carolyn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And it's one step at a time. Things will start to come together for you. Things will start to come together for you. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Benny, you got anything before we wrap it up, bro? Or you still might be driving?
Yeah, just just continue to be patient. Like you always say, give yourself grace. What you said just reminds me, right, of how important training is, right? You know, a lot of you guys have been with us for a while. You guys know I was some years ago now. I was with IM Academy, right? It's not how I got introduced to the markets. I had already went through some major training. I actually just liked some of their software. But one of the things that I noticed, right, even with IM, is when you look in the back office or whatnot for training, it was rare that people completed the training. Mm-hmm. Go figure, right? It was rare, like that people were completing the training. Like, so don't, why would you treat yourself like that? You know, why would you make an investment in yourself, you know, and not take your time and go through the training? So I second that. Just make sure that you complete the training, right? And I was on another note, I was listening to Stanley Druckenmiller, right? A couple of days ago, and he was on one of the money shows. I can't remember. And you know, big time investors, they put together models to try to project years ahead, you know, where the capital flows may be headed. 6 months minimum. And he said it's the first time in his 45 years that he hasn't been able to feel comfortable projecting at least 6 months ahead. Right. So we're in some unprecedented times in the market. Yeah. You know, war, inflation, supply chain, pandemic issues. You know, China's still dealing with lockdowns, and the fact that we're dealing with all of this, and we're super global, right? At this stage of the game, right. Everybody affects everybody. So that just makes, you know, going through the training, taking your time, picking your spots, really, you know, grasping the fundamentals and how they go together with the technicals. It makes it even more important because you have, highly successful investors like Stanley Druckenmiller, right, that have stood the test of time saying, hey, I'm having a hard time projecting even 6 months out right now. You know, man. So it's very, very important that you hone in and really develop this skill set. It will pay huge dividends, you know, down the line. So if you find yourself your price actions bouncing all over the place a little bit, you're winning some trades, you're losing some trades. Just understand that we're in some challenging times. Just trade through it. Use smart money management, and trade through it. Get through it. right? And if dust settles, you'll be on top. But just stay in the arena, keep your head down, keep grinding. And other than that, very essentially, man, I look forward to seeing everybody tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate everybody showing up this morning. We'll see you tonight. Have an awesome Wednesday. Peace.
Thank you.